So I wanted to talk about this idea of the so-called solo table theory. Now, I didn't know this was a thing until a reel came up on Instagram a couple of weeks ago of this guy sitting at a table by himself, and the caption said, "Testing the solo table theory." And at first, I found this very curious. I was very interested by this because this is something I've been doing for the past 10 years. I'm a bit of an introvert. I love my own company, and I love to just do things alone. I love writing in cafes and reading in cafes by myself. And yeah, I just love exploring the world by myself because I feel that I can create the atmosphere that I want to create. I can move through the world and do my own things in my own way without somebody else to kind of say, hey, let's do this instead. Hey, let's do that. You know, I can kind of focus on myself. And so this idea of the solo table theory was just very curious to me. It was very foreign because doing things alone is something that's just very normal for me at this point. And so I was actually interested because it seemed that I realized for the first time, maybe this is something that a lot of people struggle with. A lot of people struggle to do things by themselves. They struggle to just go to a cafe and read a book by themselves because they think it's cringe, or to write in public. They think it's cringe, or to just, I don't know, do things by themselves, right? There is this kind of pressure that they place on their mind, this idea that other people are watching them and judging them, or something like this. This only occurred to me recently that I think a lot of people struggle with this, so I just wanted to talk about it. The first thing I wanted to say is that if you want to do something by yourself, like if you want to go to the cinema and watch a movie by yourself, a new movie that's come out, or you want to go to your favorite restaurant, or you want to go to a cafe and just enjoy a coffee and a scone or a brownie or whatever you want to enjoy, but nobody wants to come with you. If you don't go and do that, you are robbing yourself of that experience. Why would you rob yourself of that experience? You know, just go and do that. Just go out and enjoy your life. Do something that you want to do. It shouldn't have to rely on other people. You should just go and enjoy your life. Enjoy the world, right? Now, if you believe that it's cringe, or, you know, it's awkward to be alone in public, and maybe people are going to think that you're lonely or something like this, let me tell you now, nobody cares. Literally, nobody is watching you. I can tell you this from experience. Nobody cares. People only care and are judging you if you believe that. If you are out there in the world by yourself, and if you think, oh, it's cringe and it's awkward to be alone, and people are going to think I'm weird, and people are going to think that I don't have friends, that's just you projecting those ideas outwardly, such that when you see somebody looking at you, that's what you think they are thinking. But I can tell you from personal experience that they aren't thinking that. They are thinking the opposite. They are probably looking at you sitting at the cafe table by yourself, and they are saying, man, I respect that. That's cool. That's cool. Nice. Good on you. Or something like this, you know. They aren't thinking, oh, that guy's alone. That guy's weird. That guy's got no friends. That's not what people are thinking. Absolutely not. People actually, I've found that people have a lot of respect for you. Like, for example, just today, and this is the reason why I wanted to make this video, I was just down at one of my local cafes journaling, and one of the waiters came up to me and he said, hey, I love to see that you're out here writing. Like, I don't see many people at cafes just writing. And I said, yeah, that's interesting, because this is what I do all the time. This is one of my favorite hobbies, to take my journal and do some journaling in a cafe. I love it. It's absolutely one of my favorite things to do. And I said, this is so normal for me, but I forget that it looks quite bizarre. Like, you don't see that very often, somebody just sitting and writing in a journal. It's quite rare to see that. This is what he said to me. He said, make magic the standard. That's what he said. He said, let's make magic the standard. I love that. And that really stuck with me, and it made me realize that he actually respected the fact that I was out here writing in my journal, and he thought that was magical, that it looked magical, and that this should be the standard. This should be normal. It shouldn't, we shouldn't have to come up with this so-called solo table theory to justify this fact that we're just going to go out and enjoy our lives by ourselves and connect with ourselves in that kind of way. But I understand that, it might be quite challenging for you, or it might be quite challenging for some people out there. And so I wanted to kind of approach this with some more grace and try to understand that perspective, that you might be worried that people are judging you, but it's not the case. They're probably actually more admired by the fact that you're out there by yourself. And the next thing that I wanted to talk about is this idea of reading in public, right? Reading in a cafe, going out there and just reading. I feel that there is almost like this stigma in today's world where it's like you can't read in public, or you're gonna look like a performative male if you're reading in public, right? There's this idea of the performative male, and I think some guys are worried to read in public is gonna make them look like a performative male, that they're reading in public to show people, hey, look, I'm reading. Look at me, I'm reading. Look how cool that is. I'm smart, I'm intelligent. It's not like that. Again, if you just wanna read in public, you should be able to just go and read in public. There shouldn't be the stigma around it. And again, that might be a projection that you're like projecting outwardly. It's a notion that has arisen through social media, this idea of the performative male, and you might be worried that that's how you come across. No, you don't come across like that. If you want to just go out there to a cafe and read your book with a nice cup of coffee and maybe an almond croissant or a cheese scone or something like this, go ahead and do that. Treat yourself to that experience, and don't rob yourself of that experience because you're worried that somebody's going to judge you and think that you're a performative male, or that you're weird, or that you're alone, or whatever. Okay, just go and do that. Give yourself that experience, because the point that I wanted to finish on is that this is how you really connect with yourself. It's solitude. And in fact, this solo table theory is a very, in my understanding of it, a very modern idea, In fact, this is an ancient philosophy that solitude is the ultimate way to connect with yourself. Being with yourself, being by yourself, and going deeper into your own presence and your own company. This is really how you understand yourself on a deeper level and connect with yourself. And I am a huge proponent of doing this in the open world. I see the world as like this open world RPG video game in a sense, and cafes are kind of like inns in my mind. And I love to just walk around and stop in this cafe and bring out my journal and do some journaling, and then go to the next cafe and order another coffee there and sit down in the corner and maybe read my book. It's such a great way to just experience the world and enjoy the ambience of a cafe or a restaurant, and just engage in the world in the way that you want to. And again, nobody else is there to tell you, hey, let's do this instead. Hey, let's do that. If somebody else is there with you, they're going to distract you from these things like journaling and reading, which are how you can really tap in and connect with yourself on a deeper level. So yeah, those are some ideas that I thought I'd share in regards to this solo table theory. Just to finish off as well, I have the definition here. The solo table theory is the concept that dining or sitting alone in cafes, restaurants, or public spaces is not a sign of loneliness, but an act of self-confidence that builds presence, comfort, and self-love. So yeah, that's exactly what it is. But again, I don't think there should be this solo table theory. It should be a standard thing. It should be a normal thing that people do, just going out and living their lives. And I think it is. I think so many people just do this, and there were so many comments on this reel of people saying like, dude, this is just a normal thing. Like, what are you saying? Testing the solo table theory, sitting at a cafe alone is such a great joy. Why? And if it's not, you should definitely go and do this. And I understand if it might be challenging, but just be aware that if you think people are judging you, they're not. Okay, I'm rambling now, so I'm going to leave the video there. So, yeah, those are my thoughts. Thank you so much for watching. Share some of your thoughts in the comments. I'd be interested to see what you think as well. And, yeah, just go out to your favorite cafe with a journal and start writing and just enjoy that time. Okay, don't forget, by the way, the journey has only just begun, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.